Hi, welcome to the replay. And if you're viewing this, and welcome to my channel. I know it's been a long time since I've posted. Let me just get set up here. I mean, I should be like set up already, but all right. So this transfer, I guess I should introduce myself since it's been like that long. And I know I have a couple of new followers to my Facebook page. My name is Eileen. I'm a craft lover and independent designer with Chalk Couture. So what Chalk Couture is, like I haven't been live in so long, so I'm so flustered right now. It's not as bad as my first live. So basically, these are silkscreen transfers. So everywhere you see white on here is actually a very fine mesh. So when I peel it back, this is the part that you push your paste or ink, or whatever product you're using through, and it's going to create your design on, whatever surface you're putting it on. Oops, and I forgot to start my recording on my phone. Of course. See, I'm like, and now I have to awkwardly stick my face under my phone because to get it to turn on. So yeah, so that is how it works. But let me just, oh my God, get this time lapse. So I want to make good use of my project here. Okay, that's good now. Sorry about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a door hanger for my front door. I have nothing on my front door right now. I can't even remember if I don't think I even put something Valentine's Day on my front door, but yeah. So if you love this particular transfer, I'm going to say, I'm so sorry. It is not available anymore. And normally I don't create with transfers that aren't available, but what happened with this one is it came out, I want to say it came out in the beginning of January, and basically like right away it sold out. So yeah, so it didn't really get a chance, and they're not restocking it because obviously, like Easter is right around the corner, and by the time it would get here, whatever, it'd be too late. So, this piece right here, the white, is actually, it's called your backer sheet. So it kind of makes me think of like photo paper. Or if you, when you were a kid, if you did color forms, it's like that kind of paper. So, and this part is sticky, so that's what keeps it together. So I want to be very careful when I'm peeling away, especially because this is a bigger transfer. I don't want to just like do it up in the air and have it stick to itself, and that causes a whole mess of other problems. So I'm just going to put this to the side. You don't want to throw that away. I've done a couple parties where people have, even though I say it, they have just, like, oh, peel it off and throw it away. Especially if you're used to doing things like with a Cricut, where you're, weeding the vinyl and, doing all that. So the process I'm doing right now, especially because this is a brand new transfer, never been used before. Oh my gosh, really? That's gross. That's my life though. I shed. So it's just like, it's, it's, I don't want to say it's super sticky, but it's pretty sticky. And we don't want it to be like crazy. Oh my God, there's freaking dog hair on this. Well, this is real life, okay? So if it was just out here, I wouldn't really care. But first of all, that's like gross. And anyway, I don't know if you could even see it. I hope not. But if you have a pet, you know. And it's funny because they don't really well, I don't want to say they don't ever come in here, but sometimes they do wander in. So I'm just kind of holding it away so I don't stick it on itself. I'm just getting my little mat out of the way. Now, when I lay it down, you probably will see those dog hairs. Well, not too bad. Okay, so I'll just kind of tell you, if you are familiar with Chalk Couture, you'll notice this looks a little different. It's a little more see-through. Let me see if I have like an old transfer handy. Give it 1 second. So this is an older one. So you see the color is a lot darker. This is not very see-through. They just started making them like this. I think that was in January is when that started. So anything that is like new from January on will be like this, which you might think like, what's the big deal? But look at how much easier it is for me to line it up. If I were using the words, I could see where the little hole is on the, on my board. If you were lining this up on top of or putting it back on or something, you could, easily line it up. Okay, so just disregard those dog hairs. We're not worried about that right now, because we're gonna do something a little different. Because of course, the first time I come back live, I'm going to, make myself nuts and try like a brand new technique to myself. Let me just make sure I have my ringer off, because that would be when the telemarketer would call, right? Let's see. Okay, I'm good. Okay, now you might be wondering why I put it all the way over to the side, because I'm gonna do something different. Actually, I think I want to bring it up a little too. Sorry. And I apologize that you're seeing this upside down. I just need it like this while I line it up. So I want to leave some space at the bottom, and oh my God, it looks like the dog laid down on my fuzzing towel, which is not possible because it freaking hangs. But anyway, that's just gross. So I'm only going to be transferring the bunny. And this is like my bottom layer. Now my paste is a little bit thick, like a little too thick. So I'm just going to put a little tiny bit of distilled water in there. So if you're wondering why the distilled water, so if you use tap water, you can. It's not recommended. I did for, probably 4 years. It can cause your paste to mold. And honestly, for the cost of the distilled water and saving the chance of, having moldy paste, and it's absolutely disgusting when it happens, because I've had maybe like 3 or 4 in the whole time I've been doing this. But it's pretty gross. It smells gross. But and it's not because our water's gross, or we're gross or whatever. It's just simply has to do with the little little stuff that lives in our water that we don't want to think about because we drink the water. All right. So you can see, if you've used the products before, how nice this is. These transfers, this side has a very, I don't know how to explain it, a little bit different texture to it. And I feel like an infomercial. And the paste just glides across it. But it does. It's just, I don't know. I guess they know what they're doing with their product development and whatnot. So I did just tiny bit go off the side, but I'm not worried about that. I'll show you when I peel this up. If you feel more comfortable, maybe not so much on one like this, You can, tape off an area that you don't want to get your, paste in. Okay. Let's just, hold on. Now, I didn't press very hard. I didn't, we just wanted a little outline here. So let me just slide this out of the way. I'm just going to move this to the side to let it dry. And now, in my super fancy tray. So this is a nonstick cooking tray, or baking tray, cookie tray, whatever you want to call it. And I'm using this. So, I mean, obviously I could peel the transfer right back off of it, but I want to clean this because we're going to do some painting, and I don't want this to sit the whole time I'm painting. Normally, when I do a live, I just kind of put the transfer to the side and clean it after, but I don't know how long this is going to take. So I don't want the paste to dry in there. So this isn't how I normally clean them. I normally clean them, actually I use the pan, but I clean them just on the, in the kitchen sink. But this is a great way to clean them if you're at an event or something, or whatever. Don't judge my little board eraser. So this actually does a really great job, even though it looks disgusting because I've used it a lot. It does a great job of cleaning the transfer. I probably have 10 of them here. Let me get a cleaner one so it's not the white paste isn't gonna stain them, but sometimes when you use dark colors, you will get a little staining in your transfer. It does not hurt them. Let me just dry that up a little bit. And now I'm just going to do the same thing to the other side. And again, I'm not worried about, where we didn't put the product. And now just gently, I'm going to go over, and I'm more concerned about the little open areas. And this is a great, if you're going to be doing a whole bunch of projects at once, a great way to kind of batch clean and then really clean them after. Or maybe you want to use this one right away after. Okay. When I run this under the water, all the dog hair will come off of it. It's listen, everything in my life has dog hair on it. Okay. And now I'm just going to lift it up a little bit. And let's see, we'll get a paper towel just to kind of blot it up. Now, we don't want to use the paper towel on the sticky side because we don't want to leave that residue on there. And I'm just going to kind of get the bulk of the water off there. And now I'm just going to put it to the side. When I had my old setup, I actually used to just stick it to the side of my table. But the way I'm set up here, I can't really do that. So I'm just going to dry this up a little bit. And I'm going to just lay it right back on here. So I have my sticky side up. It's not going to dry right away because it is touching that. But you can put it on your kitchen counter, on a towel or whatever. But make sure it's always sticky side up. Okay. So here's our little bunny. And I feel like I had something else I was gonna, I don't know. Like I said, I'm all flustered because I haven't been live in forever. Okay. So like I said, this bunny or this, no longer available. And I'm showing it because I plan on making a couple of books for sale. So I have this piece here, which to me, like, it looks like an egg. So I'm going to do, if this project works out, because again, I never tried it before, I'm going to do the same thing on this. And I also have another door hanger too. So, and this one is for me because it has a little something on the other side that was, I don't want to say a failed project, but a project that didn't come out how I wanted it to. Okay, so I'm just going to be using some craft paint and a paper plate. I have no idea like what. So my bunny is going to be like gray and white, and we're just going to like wing it. So always make sure when you have these paints, shake them, because if you don't use them all the time, they do separate, and it's pretty gross. they literally will come out like in clumps. So I always just kind of, before I start, I give them all a shake, just so I'm sure that I kind of got them all. I don't know. I just took Peach out, and like little, come on. So this is the colors I'm using. The Natural Buff. This one's Slate Gray. Then I have Poodle Skirt Pink. I only need like a tiny bit of that because that's what I'm going to use for the nose. And I don't know, like, I'm going to just put some white on here. I have no idea. And you know what? I'm not going to put black on there, but I have black here too. So when you use, let's see, I have like a gazillion paintbrushes. When you use acrylic paints, if you also do other things like, watercolor or whatever, you want to make sure that whatever brushes you're using for acrylic are strictly for acrylic. I'm telling you because I ruined some of my nice watercolor brushes. All right, so I'm going to put it this way so you guys can not look at it upside down, and because that would bother me. But now that I got it on there. So basically we're using the transfer as our, oh my God, like a coloring book, like that kind of. All right. So without giving like a painting lesson, because I really would not be good at that. So think of when you're looking at something, what's closer to you. So like the paws are in front of the body. The snout is in front of the head. The head are like in front of the ears. So kind of think of those like separations. The face kind of pops out in front of the body, and that might help you like break down where to like change colors or, like add different colors. I think I want this like lighter. And with this, it's good because you can, if you don't like how this, oh my gosh, that's too dark, that's too light, you can just paint over it. And, you don't have to worry. So now we're just going to make sure that we stay within our lines. And you don't even have to get to the edge of them, because we're going to come back over and put the transfer back. So this is now going to be the really boring part. But I think this will come out really cool. So now here, I do want to come over that because I want to make sure that I get those little open areas. And I just went over the edge, but that's all right. I feel like when I paint, I hold my breath and then I'm like, it's like I lose my like breath for a second. Okay. So you can, oh, I have the broken brush. Damn it. I like this brush though. All right. These are just cheap brushes. I can honestly tell you that they came from Target. I am like the worst person with brushes. So we're going to just kind of add, you know, add some of the other grays in there. And listen, if you do this and you don't like how it comes out, you can go back in and just add more color. Now I'm trying to make it not look like solid gray. So hopefully, see there's that brush, just fell apart. Yeah, I don't want it to look like solid gray. I want it to have like a little variation in it. And I'm kind of making it a little messy. This is one of those things, it's like you kind of have to just trust the process. And then we'll put this color. It's hopefully that, maybe add, I think I'm off to the side here. Just add like a little, I don't know, let's see. And we're also we're not going for realistic here, okay? This is definitely not realistic. So there's our first year. And I'm just kind of, I'm not really a good brush washer. Hence why I use these, super high quality brushes. Sometimes I just throw them away. And I'm done. I'm not that bad. If I do forget to wash them, I don't know. And I'm just going to, continue to fill in. I am kind of filling in that edge because, I don't know, that part, some of it is kind of skipped a little because I just kind of gently went over with the paste. All right, so now I'll add a little bit more. That's a little bit more variation. I'm also trying to kind of rush to do this. When I do the ones that I'm going to sell, I'm not going to do them live. I'll still record them and then I'll just show them sped up, because if I were doing this to sell, I would actually want to sit down and, obviously be a little bit more careful with it. All right, so now we are going to do our little, oops, didn't clean the brush out. All right, let's get our little color that we're going to use in the ear. I think this, shoot, I didn't really look at it. Hold on one second. Let me just look at the transfer. I'm going to say for this one that pink part is going to be more to the side here. I don't know. We can always come back and change it if we don't like how it looks. This ear is turned that way. And this is, I just keep doing that to clean the brush out. And I'm just gonna maybe do, I don't want to make this a sharp line, but we're gonna kind of insinuate that we're looking at the side of the ear, whereas here you have the sides on each side. I don't know. Okay, now we'll move back to the face. So I'm thinking for the face, we'll kind of keep this part white, whiter, I should say. And today when I was getting set up here, I'm oh, I should stream this to my personal page. I was no, I don't think I'm going to do that. Okay, let's try to not put my hand in the wet paint. So normally I would start further away and work toward myself, but you know, that's all right. And I still want to have like a little gray in there. And I'm going to come back in and do like those details. So I'm just not even worried about them right now. I'm going to go right up to them so that I don't like kind of lose where they are. Because I'm trying to decide if I'm going to go, when I put the transfer back down and we're going to put like the lines on top of our painting, kind of like put them back, I might do like these, like in white, and do this in, you know, gray, or I don't know. So we'll see. Oh my gosh, my stomach is growling. Okay, this, I probably am going to have to come back. I don't know why I'm painting that, because, yeah. Sometimes it kind of throws you where, you know, so where the transfer is going to deposit the paste. So it's, yeah, that's kind of, that doesn't really matter that I just did that. I don't know. All right, so again, we're gonna, I want this like a little bit lighter. And again, you don't like it, you can just come right back and, you know, after, you know, you put your transfer back on, I'm just gonna, I might just like paint that nose in myself. I don't know. All right, I just want to give like a little bit of a texture here. Okay, I feel like that looks kind of fuzzy. Hopefully that looks good on camera. Okay, so I could still kind of faintly see where like the little mouth is and all that. And all right. And now maybe we'll kind of keep the same thing like around the eyes. So now the eyes, once we're all done, I'll come back in and put, you know, like black or brown or something there. But for now, we'll just kind of use these lines to help us place some color. And I'm kind of like stippling the brush on there. I'm not really, you know, painting it in, because we want to keep that little bit of variation. Okay, my husband always laughs at me when I say this, but I don't understand. When I go live, it gives me like the sniffles. And I'm like, I just think that's like so gross when you're watching somebody and they're like, just, I think it's because when I do stuff, I kind of like hold my breath or something. I don't know. It's just like such a weird thing. All right. Just, I don't know, like hold my breath when I craft. And it doesn't really matter that I'm covering, you know, that stuff, because we're gonna, again, okay, I do want to make sure that this looks like connected here, color-wise. I think too, that's part of the reason, especially doing a project like this, where it's like, not to say like, oh, I don't want to show my face, but I mean, right now, today, no, I don't want to show my face. But I feel like I make like stupid faces too, like when I craft, like, I don't know, when I am doing stuff with like fabric and cutting, I make like, because I've done videos before and I'm like, what am I doing with my mouth? I make like a funny face, like when I'm using like scissors to cut fabric. I don't know, it's just like strange. Okay, so we have like a little variation there, and we'll just kind of get over here, and again we can we're just gonna keep going. Now I'm not gonna put the transfer like back over this in this live because I want to make sure, like if you see some of these parts of the paint are, they're a little chunky. And I want to make sure that it's like 100% dry. I don't want to just sit here and put like the blow dryer on it and then, you know, it's not all the way dry and then I peel the transfer up and, you know. So we'll kind of do this in steps, but it's not like, oh, I'll be back in 3 months to finish it now. Like talking like this afternoon. And I will have like the little, you know, like a sped up video, like a reel, TikTok, whatever you want to. Okay, I do want to like, it's like very stark white over here. I feel like I'm just, see, like I'm globbing on the paint. I don't want to have it be too thick and then not dry well. So, see, so you could fool everybody and let them think you are just this amazing artist. Like, oh, look at this bunny I just painted. Okay, so now we want to make sure that we don't just go, you know, gray all the way down here because we want the, I was going to say it's hands. No, it's hands. To be separate from the body. Like you want to see them separately. Now in like real life, obviously we would be worried about shadows and all that stuff, but like, you know, we're having fun. We're not doing like, you know, bunny portraits. So, all right, I'm going to, let's see, you know, I'm thinking maybe we'll keep the center like a little bit lighter as I just put the dark gray on there. See, there's the sniffles. So yeah, we'll keep the center a little lighter. So he's got like a little light gray belly. I feel like rabbits are like the one thing I like never see. Oh, probably because so many freaking like coyotes around. But I don't know. I never see them around here. Or they just want to stay away from my dogs. We did have a fox. This was like, I don't know, it's crazy. This was, I don't know, like last week, maybe, I don't know, like a couple weeks ago. I was I was like, usually I open like the front window in the morning, and not open it, but like open the curtains. And I'm like, oh, I didn't really open it that wide. And so I went back and I'm like holding my cup of coffee, like just looking out the window. And I'm like, oh my God, there's a fox right in the front like walkway. And all of a sudden it just kind of like remind me of like the dog, how he'll take his toy and like flail it around. It had a freaking squirrel. And I'm like, oh my God, not prepared for that, like before breakfast, right? It was having its breakfast. I realized too, now I'm looking at this and how I'm painting this, and I have my recording like right there. Oh, that looked like I was giving a middle finger, but it wasn't. And my hand is like blocking the whole time. I'll have to switch it around when I do the next part. Yeah, so this fox is like going to town on this poor little squirrel. And I was like, oh my God. And my dogs are going completely crazy, of course. And I'm just like, oh my God. So, you know, being the good neighbor that I am, not really, but I text my neighbor. I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, there's a squirrel. And I send her like the video from our doorbell and everything. And then I text my other neighbor who's like right across the street, because after this poor thing got so annoyed with my dogs acting so crazy, it just could not have its breakfast in peace because my dogs were going so nuts. And yeah, she's like, Oh, it's eating it in my backyard. Like, so at least it wasn't a bunny, because then that would be a terrible story for for while I'm doing this. But honestly, the fox was like beautiful. Like we've had him around here like quite a bit. A couple years ago, they were under like, I don't know, our neighbor's shed with like little babies. But just like that was the summer. And this is like gross. Well, it's not. It'd be gross if I had pictures. We were finding things. I'll just leave it at that. Like all summer, like we're like, what the heck is? It was just. Hopefully that looks like fuzzy enough, and it doesn't just look like messy. I don't know. Like I don't want to make it look like I'm. I don't know, hulking him out here. Oops, I didn't turn off that notification. All right, just kind of blend that a little better. Ooh, yeah. And it doesn't matter. It's probably a little better if I go over those lines a little bit. Okay. So now under here, I want to keep it kind of dark there too, because we want it to show like his paws are in front of it. I might lighten this up a little bit. I don't know. I feel like you kind of can't tell until you kind of have it down there. And I don't know, like looking at the transfer, I'm feeling like this is kind of just like cut off. Like these little marks, I'm like, are they trying to make those feet? But I'm like, that is just weird. But for what we're doing with this project, I don't think it doesn't really matter, because I'm going to put stuff. I don't know what yet, because I didn't know if it was going to work. So I didn't really plan. I might have to come back in and touch some of this up. I don't want to just keep messing with the same sections and get it. Okay. So I'm just, like I said, just blobbing it on here. And it's not, if this was like super watery, it might like reactivate that chalk paste, but I'm not like going over like the chalk paste part that much. And this part down here, I just want to make it so it's not like a straight line. So even though that's like not on the transfer like that, I'm just kind of, this bunny's just like fading into the flowers down there. Okay, so let me just turn it around for just a second, because it is very weird to paint upside down. And also I don't have my glasses on, so I have like all this part right here that is not painted. So let's see. Okay. All right, so I'm going to come in with a little bit of the white, and let's see, and just kind of like lighten up his paws. Of course, now I just painted over the lines. I don't know where the line was. I could see the end here, but then I could see it there. And I am intentionally kind of just going right over those. But you know what? Like we can come back in and like touch it up after too. I just want to like get rid of any of like the really like harsh lines. I feel like I just have like the funniest It's like when I put makeup on and I look like a clown because I don't know how to put makeup on. We're just clowning him up a little. Same right here. We'll just kind of give him a little bit more separation, and then we'll go give him a little more like darkness under here. And we can come in and do like with the black or something, not straight black, but like put just not right there. Okay. And I don't know how much I want to do that stuff, but I do want it to be the same color. And I don't know if you can tell like on camera, these look totally, well, not totally different. One looks more peach and one looks more pink. And this brush is like really coming apart. So, and that's just because I didn't do them like at the same time. So I'm not like, so I'm just going to take, I know I'm like kind of off to the side here, like that peach and that pink together. And I'm just going to kind of, that's like really strong, but not exactly what I wanted, but that's all right. And I'm just kind of following that shape of the ear. Listen, everybody's going to know it's a rabbit. And you know what? Do rabbits really look like this? I don't. With this color? Probably not. So again, I know this transfer is not available. So I'm just like, you know, torturing people that just think it's so adorable and they want it. But they still don't look the same color. I think because it's just what's underneath there. But I'll show you another transfer that these kind of techniques would be perfect for. Okay, so I just went back and got a little bit of that like peachy color, and I'm just, you know what? I can't make it do what I want. I'm gonna just go make it work. And I'm just gonna add that little, so now they both have like the peach color in there. Just add some up there. So we'll make it look like it was intentional. I keep looking, my computer keeps giving me like all these like notifications. What is going on? Okay, let's not get paint on the laptop. So let me turn this around. So this is like light kind of sucks. So you could see that it's like obviously wet and it has like a little like texture thickness to it. So that's why I don't want to just like go right with the next step. But let me show you this other transfer. If you like this, well, let's just say if this works, this one is called Woodland Animals. And I apologize for the shiny, but you have a fox, a raccoon, skunk, and a bear. And hello, look at like the freaking glasses. There's a monocle and a freaking pipe. Oh my god. So you could do the exact same thing, because I'm pretty sure, I'm confident it's gonna work now that we got this far. Yeah, I don't know. I just want to put something in his little hand. Little trash panda. All right, so that is it for now, for the moment, until this dries. I know I didn't do the eyes. Honestly, I was like a little bit nervous. I didn't know what to. Let's do it. Hold on. So we shook the black already. You know what? It's just paint, right? And I'm just gonna put a little dot in there. Let's see. And I hopefully have, with my 7,000 brushes, a tiny. I don't know if this is a. Can't be that good of a brush. It has like glue on it. I was like, I don't know if this is a good brush. I don't want to use it. Okay. So I don't know what that, I don't know. I don't know what that's supposed to be, but I don't know. Oh, this brush is awful. It has like, you probably can't see it. It's like all the little pieces go in like 87 directions. Oh my gosh, actually I like it. That's what I said. This is probably at one time this was a good brush, but because I do stuff like this with it and ruin it. All right. I don't know. This shape of the eyeballs is weird, but I'm not like super worried about that. Because again, we're going to come back over it with the, oh, it actually looks pretty good on camera. I mean, they're two different sizes, but maybe he's winking. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Oh, we'll just do that. All right. We're just going to pretend he's like squinting with that eye. All right. So I don't know when I'm going to come back, but it'll be today. All right. Thanks so much for watching. And I will post on the Facebook page like, oh, hey, going live in 15 minutes or whatever. Holy cow, this was like 46 minutes long. Have a good rest of your day if you don't catch the second part. And again, I'll post a video of like the whole thing, a quick video. Thanks for watching.